I wanted to talk about head coverings. I didn't always cover my head. In fact, when I first started doing this, when was that? I think 1999, and my mother saw me with the head covering. She just laughed. Anyway, that's how she was. She didn't talk much, but she chuckled at things, certain things. Anyway, um, I was convinced that I should start covering my head, and this was after a trip to my one and only trip to Jerusalem and surrounding areas, because all the religious women there, not just Jewish women, but Muslim women, they had their head covered. You know, they had a snood or a scarf or a hat. Um, Not many of them over there wore wigs like the Orthodox women do in the United States. By the way, my school friend's mother, who it's a Jewish family, of course, used to say to me, you know, some of those wigs are a lot more sensual than somebody's hair. Anyway, it took me a while to get used to it, and I was convinced I should do that. After all, the women in the Bible cover their heads. Actually, men did too. So it felt strange. Then I got used to it. Then I started liking it. Then I started loving it. And then I started needing it, like I felt funny if I didn't cover my head. Now, bringing up this subject to modern times and COVID-19, I have read in many places and seen various videos that countries that are serious about this, especially in the medical industry, the nurses cover their heads. In fact, one country, the nurses shaved their heads because they were so afraid of being a conductor for COVID. And recently, I was in Walmart, and anytime I see a customer or an employee, you know, a lady with their head covered, I always, you know, remark about it. That looks nice, or like it, or I have something similar. So this one woman recently was wearing a, you know, like a turban and had like a bow here. So I started talking to her, and she was actually somebody who works for the what is that called? It's some kind of retirement home, and it's run by the Jewish Federation. And she said that all the female employees there are required to cover their hair. So, you know, Jewish people are really particular about, you know, cleanliness. I mean, think about all the rules in the Bible about cleanliness. You could find that in the English translation of the original Hebrew Bible. Like, you know, not touching something unclean, not eating an animal that's considered unclean. So, if any of you are thinking about it, keep in mind that women who like to change the color of their hair, let's start with that. How often can you change your hair color? Once every 6 weeks? Maybe once a week if you're going to use one of those rinses and you have white hair. But with a headscarf or a hat or a snood, you could change the color on your head like 3 times a day or more, you know, right? I mean, think of all the prints and patterns and different types of scarves you could have. So it's actually a very fashionable thing. If any of you watch older movies, the female stars, actresses, a lot of them wore very sophisticated turbans. Let me see, one of them was named Capucine. Another one was, I think, Audrey Hepburn used to do that also. And, well, you can look. So think about these things. Sometimes, many times, maybe most of the time, the old ways are the best ways. And there's something beautiful about continuing history